Hello. Good morning. Just give it a minute and then I will introduce myself. Just checking I'm in the right group because I always have this paranoia that Facebook lands me in the wrong group. I am. Good morning. Hope you are all okay. You can see that some notifications are starting to come through. So I'm Debbie Merrick, and I am a director to Team Crystal Gems, and Kelly has asked me to pop in and do some training on habits with you. So thank you very much for having me. I'm just going to give it a second just to see if anyone else pops on, and then I'll get started. And hopefully those of you that are out there enjoying the sunshine can catch up later. It is a really, really gorgeous day, so I'm sure lots of you are probably outdoors working somewhere or outdoors enjoying sunshine, which is a gorgeous place to be. I'm hibernating a little bit because my hay fever is in overdrive. So I'll get started. So my one of my areas I'm really, really passionate about is habits and how important that is for your business. Habits is a huge deal in terms of your business. But I suppose just to give a little bit of a background really. So I'm guessing there's probably lots of you that probably joined during the pandemic when we were in this period of hyper growth. I think it's quite commonplace across lots of teams where quite a lot of the growth in our teams happened during hyper growth, and there will be lots of you that didn't really know what Scentsy was like before that. And during the pandemic, it was very, very easy. People were biting our arms off for Scentsy. We just had to post a picture of a warmer and 10 people wanted it. You know, we didn't really have to do the same type of work that we did before the pandemic. So some of you don't really know what that was like. And, you know, while that hyper growth was incredible, it was amazing, the sales were incredible, there were a lot of challenges around that too. And you know, a lot of us as leaders, coming out of that in this dip that we're in kind of what people are referring to it as a dip. This kind of dip, we can't kind of keep like flying at this level forever. The dip was inevitably going to have to come. And we are now in what we would refer to as more normal times. We are having to work our businesses. Every business takes work. Hi, Lindsay. Businesses do take work. Every single business takes work. It's not always easy. And what was happening during hypergrowth just wasn't normal. But obviously that takes some adjusting too. Every business will have gone through lots of adjustments during this time, and adjusting has been a constant for us through this whole last 2 years. We've had to go through so many periods of adjustment, and this is another one. This is just another one. But I'm not going to lie and say to you that it's an easy thing to do. You know, a lot of us have all really felt it coming out of that, particularly sort of towards the end of last year. And while Scentsy were throwing loads of amazing sales at us, we were all really feeling it. We were all kind of at a little bit of burnout really, because while all these sales were amazing and all these things Scentsy were doing for us was incredible, we'd hit a level of burnout and all of the adjustments and things like that. We were kind of feeling a bit sort of tired, and we were having to adjust now to this change again, where we are kind of feeling this dip and we're all having to go back to a different way of working. We are all having to work hard again. And I'm going to say that I kind of started to wonder what value I had to bring to my team. But we also hadn't had any in-person events for a long time, and SFR 2 weeks ago, and I can't believe it's already been 2 weeks, I wish we could go back, did a huge amount of good for all of us. Huge amount of good, and it really kind of just gave us all the boost we needed. It was exactly what we needed to really ignite those fires in us again. And the one thing that I knew I needed to do, it was incredible, it was just amazing. And the one thing that I knew I needed to do when I came back was pick up this book again. So if you haven't read this book already, Atomic Habits, it is one of the best books I've read, and I've read it from cover to cover since I've been back. Atomic Habits by James Clear, it is amazing. There is so much in here that you can benefit from for your business. And this really, really is a page turner for me. So I knew I had to come back and pick this up. habits in your business is huge. So I'm going to refer to this quite a lot because there is a huge amount of good in this. So I will refer to it a lot, but I will try and relate bits to the business as well. But habits is huge. So I'll get started on what it is that I'm going to talk about. So obviously habits in your business is a huge deal. And in this period that we're in now, where people are going to find it hard to adjust, there are going to be people who have never known normal Scentsy and think this is just too hard, I'm not interested anymore. We are seeing a little bit of that. We are seeing people thinking, is it worth it? Because they've not done the normal Scentsy. It's going to be habits and consistency that really, really are what's going to drive your business forward. And you have to commit to that, and you will see the benefits of that if you put some of these things in place. So it is habits that are really, really going to drive your business forward. So in any business, habits are a must, okay? If you want to have a really successful business, if you've got your eyes on the top and you want to promote your way up to the top of the business, or even if you just want to have a consistent side hustle. So if you're busy with another job, or you just want to have Scentsy as a sideline to bring in just an extra £50 a month or £100 a month, and you want that to be a consistent business, then habits are still really, really important because you need that consistency there. You do have to take habits really, really seriously for that to happen. Habits will get you through all of those good times, but once you have them in place and they are consistent, they will get you through all of those tough times as well. All of those times where you don't feel motivated, all of those times where you have other things going on in your life, all of those times where you feel a bit flat, all of those times where you hit burnout, those habits are going to pull you through and keep your business going because they are consistent. They are things that you will do automatically, okay? You do have to put the hard work in place to establish those good habits first though, okay? You do have to put that hard work in. And you do have to put the work into it to eliminate any bad habits you've got in place or even harmful habits. And that might relate to your personal life, not just your business. But you do have to put the work in to really, really work hard at eliminating those or putting good habits into place, okay? But it's not something that you would just do once. It's not something that you can say, right, over the next 3-6 months, I'm going to work on my habits and then I'll be done. You have to evaluate on a constant basis, okay? You always have to be looking at areas where you can improve. You might work on one set of habits and establish those and then work on the next level. You know, it's always going to be an area, a thing that you're going to be constantly evaluating. So obviously, I've already highlighted the book to you, Atomic Habits by James Clear, but he does have a newsletter that you can sign up to. He has a Facebook page that he posts on quite a lot, so he's really, really worth. I really like following him. He does quite a lot of quite interesting stuff that quite speaks to me. I find him really, really interesting. But there's a quote in his book that I'm just going to read out to you that I really like. So, habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. The same way that money multiplies through compound interest, the effects of your habits multiply as you repeat them. They seem to make little difference on any given day, and yet the impact they deliver over months and years can be enormous. So I like the way that he kind of, refers it to being similar to money. So you can save money, but it won't give you any great interest over a few days and months. But over time, you will see the benefits. And that's the same with habits. You've really got to stick at it. So it is really hard to appreciate, like he says, in the moment, the impact of any habits that you put in place. It won't be instant. Saving money doesn't make you instantly rich. Going to the gym for a week isn't going to make you instantly fit. Eating healthily for a week isn't going to make you instantly slim. You have to work at it. And even when you get bored because you're not seeing the results you want, you have to push through it. You have to have faith that these things are going to pay off. But over time, you'll be able to look back and you will see the huge progress you've made, okay? The perseverance and the faith that you have in them will pay off. You've just got to really, really stick at it, okay? James, in his book, does refer a lot to 1% improvements. And over time, those 1% and 1% will build up into huge differences. There's an analogy he uses in the book that I really, really like. And he asks you to imagine that you're sat at a table, you're in a cold room and you're sat at a table with an ice cube in front of you. It's that cold you can see your breath, and the room starts at 25 degrees and slowly the room will start to heat up, okay? So it goes to 26 degrees, it will go to 27 degrees and 28 degrees, 29 degrees. The ice is still sat on the table, nothing has changed, okay? So we're at 29 degrees, then 30 degrees, 31 degrees, still nothing's changed. We've had all these 1 degree changes. But then at 32 degrees, the ice begins to melt, okay? So it's been a 1 degree change, just like all of the previous 1 degree changes before it, but it's unlocked a huge change, okay? And that's called a breakthrough moment. It's a moment that is very similar to all of the other moments before it, but it's a result of all of the previous actions that have come before, and it's built up the potential that required to unleash a major change. Okay, and that's how you have to think about habits. All of these previous steps will at some point lead up to a breakthrough moment. Okay, similar to bamboo. Bamboo's a really, really good one to compare it to as well. So that can barely be seen for 5 years, because for 5 years it builds a really extensive root system under the ground that can't be seen. And then when it's ready to grow, within 6 weeks, it can grow 90 feet into the air. So all of that for 5 years grows under the ground. Then in 6 weeks, it just shoots up. And again, that's how you can view your habits in your business. They take time for you to grow those foundations and to put those roots down. Remain consistent, remain committed, keep looking at your daily habits, keep looking at where you can evaluate, where you can be improving, where you can be putting new habits into place and improving on those. And at some point you'll cross that threshold that will unlock a new level of performance, okay? And it will really, really grow for you. So when you think about your habits, it's really easy to think about them in terms of the goals that you have. And James Clear talks about there being 2 issues with that. And one is that when you're focusing purely on the goal, it will lead many of us to fail, because instead we have to focus on the systems that are going to get us to the goal. You have to really focus on your habits being the systems that get the systems. You can't just decide, just as an example, that this month you're going to go and recruit 5 people and you're going to achieve 2,000 PRV. That doesn't just happen. You can't just decide you're going to do it and that just happen. There are systems there to get you there. So just as an example, you might have to look at your follow-up systems. You might have a system for putting shopping links in place for your customers and encourage them to flip the PRV and join. You might have systems in place for follow-up. I've already said follow-up, haven't I? So follow-up systems in place. There's a system I'm going to show you in a minute that might help as well. But other systems in place that you have in your business, there could be so many different ones. I could go on for ages giving examples. Or there might be systems that you want to change, different habits you want to put in place, put different systems in. But that 2,000 PRV and 5 recruits don't just happen. You have to have systems in place to make them happen, okay? And it's the systems that work for you to get you to those goals, okay? You have to focus on those systems. And secondly, the other issue would be that if you spend your life only focusing on goals, you only let yourself experience happiness in that moment when you achieve them, and then you rob yourself of a huge amount of happiness as well. And actually achieving that goal is only a momentary change, and it doesn't last. It doesn't last forever. It's just a momentary change. What happens like the day after you've achieved something? If you get a promotion to lead consultant, star consultant, whatever it may be, it's amazing that you've achieved it. It's great. But a couple of days later, what's next? What's next? So you need to be celebrating the success you're having every day in the work that you're doing and the systems you have in place in getting there, and knowing that you're doing great things to get yourself there. So another example he gives in the book, just as an example, is that if you've got a really messy room and you set a goal to clean it, okay? So you summon the energy up and you do the job and you get it done, and you'll achieve that goal for now. But if you maintain the same sloppy habits that got you that messy room in the first place, you're going to be right back to square one in no time. You're back with a messy room. You've actually got to focus on the systems that caused the problem in the first place, okay? Not the goal. You've got to address the cause. You are left chasing the outcome because you did not change the system, is what he says. So we think we need to change our results, but it is not our results that are the problem. We need to change the systems behind those results. When you solve the problems at results level, you only solve them temporarily. To improve for good, you need to solve the problems at systems level, fix the inputs, and the outputs will fix themselves. So if you have trouble changing your habits, the problem doesn't lie with you. So that's really important to remember. It doesn't lie with you. But bad habits will repeat themselves again and again. But it isn't because you don't want to change. It's just that you don't have the right system for change. So that's where you need to keep evaluating what you're doing and seeing if there's something different you can be trying a different habit instead if something's not working. Now, this is quite possibly my favourite quote in the book. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You will fall to the level of your systems. I really, really like that. I think that's quite powerful. So in the book, he talks about, there's loads of different things. There's loads of different different things in the book, different tools he gives you, different things you can try. And I could be here forever talking to you about different things that he talks about in here. But this was quite good based on what I've talked about already. There's 3 levels of behaviour change. And he talks a lot about habits shaping your identity. So changing your habits to shape your identity. Okay, so there's 3 layers to that. The first layer is changing your outcomes. So we've talked about how this is about changing your results. So it's kind of where most of your goals sit. So do you want to lose weight? Are you planning to stop smoking? Your PRV goals, maybe your promotion goals. Do you want to become a director? So that's quite outcome based. The second layer is changing your processes. So that's where changing your habits and systems sit. So are you going to implement some new routines, new schedules, declutter your workspace for a better workflow? That's where you build all of your habits in. The third layer goes a bit deeper, and that's about changing your identity a bit. So it's about changing your beliefs and your self-image and your judgments about yourself and about others. So what he talks about is that many people begin the process of changing habits by focusing about what they want to achieve, so what they want to achieve, and that leads to outcome-based habits. But the alternative, he says, is to build identity-based habits. So the approach he talks about helps us to focus on who we wish to become instead. Okay, it gives an example just to kind of put it into context. So there are 2 people who are trying to give up smoking, and they're offered a cigarette and they try and resist. So the one person says, "No, thank you, I'm trying to quit." Now that person still believes they're a smoker and they're trying to be somebody else. They're hoping their behaviour will change while carrying around the same beliefs. "I'm trying to quit." The second person declines by saying, "No, thanks, I'm not a smoker." So it's a small difference, but it's quite a big shift in their identity. They believe that smoking, it was part of their former life and it's not in their current one. So they're no longer a smoker. I don't smoke. I'm not a smoker. So it's just a complete shift in identity. So when people talk to you, you probably have leaders talking to you in terms of your goals and things like that. And I hear it quite a lot. I say it quite a lot to my team about what it is that you want to achieve with your business. So do you want to be a leader? Start acting like one. Believe you are one. Do the things that leaders do. Do you want to become a director? And I kind of did this anyway, but I know that Tam always said it to me, act like one. Act like a director. You know, do the things that directors do. Give more than you take. And it all fits in with the Scentsy values anyway, but give more than you take. Share stuff. Put your ideas out there. Share with wider teams. You know, be willing to go out there and share things with other teams, wider teams. Do recognition. You don't have to do more than you... I'm not saying go and spend and do money and do this. Do what's within your... whatever you're able to do. But for me, it was always about giving my time, doing what I could for my team, really just doing shout outs, just being that person that really kind of gave to people. And so just act like, believe you are one, and then your behaviours will put you in that right mindset and give you that, you will develop the habits of a director, so that when you you will attract those people to you. Does that make sense? So you're already believing that you are one, so it's easier to become one. So in your business, have a think about what it is that you want to achieve. Start acting and believing like you are already there, or you are already that person or that thing that you want to become. You will see a huge shift in yourself and your business and your habits. Just to kind of summarise really, think about where you are right now. And I said at the start that we've had those 2 years of hyper growth, and a lot of you have joined during that time, and it has been filled with lots of highs and lows. And although lots of you have, like I said, not really known what Scentsy was like before that, some of us did, but I just wanted to reassure you that although things are difficult right now, although some of us did know what Scentsy was like before, we have kind of travelled on that same journey with you. There have been loads of highs, but there have been lots of challenges as well. And we are on that same journey with you now. We are kind of going back to more normal times with you, and we've got used to how easy it got. We've got to adapt back to kind of going back to that normal working pace with you and putting all of that extra effort back into our businesses. It is a time of adapting for us too. It has been a roller coaster, and it has been incredible It has been incredible, but it has been challenging too. But we're here to support you. And right now there are so many leaders that are really trying to help you, guide you through it. There are so many people who are giving and giving and giving to really, really help you. So take what is out there. Take what people are offering to you. We're all here to support you. But you do have to put the work in. You owe it to yourselves to really put the work in and really, really take what's out there and invest time into yourself and in your business. We are with the most amazing company. It will pay off. If you stick with it, you will definitely reap all the rewards of what this company has to offer. It is really, really incredible. But you really do need to invest in habits for that to happen. You have to invest in your habits and your consistency for you to have a really, really good, sustainable business, okay? Your business will only thrive, it will survive on habits and consistency. Put those in place and your business will thrive through good times and it will thrive through tough times. But like I said, it won't be straight away. You will start, if you start working on those habits now, you will see some rewards in say the autumn as we approach sort of the Christmas crazy, as I call it, the crazy season. But you will see the bigger rewards of your habits in future years to come as they start to pay off. The investment in yourself and that consistency is all about building those roots so that in future years you will look back and then that breakthrough will come and it will all be worth it because you will have put all of those works in, that work in. And something that always springs to my mind is work 5 years like nobody else will to live like nobody else can. And that always lives in my mind because it is about putting all that work and effort in because it will pay off and this business will give you the life that you want. Okay. So there are, like I said, there are loads of different strategies in here. There's so many things in here to help you. There are things like putting some simple habits in place and then you can do habit stacking where you then stack others on top. There's so much in here, so do definitely give this a read. There is something else that I can just give you as an idea to look at if you want to. So there isn't a huge amount on my YouTube, but if you have a look on my YouTube, just search my name. Back at the start of the pandemic, one of my directors and I, we did a course for our teams called Grow Your Business and Beyond. So there's a few different sessions on that. They're all numbered in days. And that was based on habits. So it's about simple, basic habits and instilling simple things into your business to really get some simple habits in place to then start growing your business. And it was initially aimed at sort of those consultants that come to the end of their sensational start period and that kind of what next, what am I doing next kind of thing, because there's sometimes a bit of a lull after they've kind of aimed for all those targets and things and those awards. But actually it's really useful for anybody just to instill some simple things in, and this is just one of the things we used as part of it. And some of you will have seen 5x5 systems before. We adapted this for the course for what we wanted to do, but have a look at it. This is on a link on the YouTube. It's a link to a Google Drive where you can find this. But this, if you start using it, it's a Word document. You can adapt it if you find that different things work better for your business. But it's just a simple starting point, and it is simple stuff, but it really instills daily habits into your business. So the idea is that there's 5 tasks for 5 days of the week, 7 days, but do 5 things for 5 days of the week. So we've got choose a different product to review each day. So different categories. So this, if you record, it helps you be accountable, and it helps you. We're all guilty of just doing the same things every day. It's easy just to post about wax and warmers, especially with the offers we've got right now. But this just helps you realise that you can be reviewing something different each day. So perhaps a fan product, perhaps a cleaning product, perhaps a pet product. So it just helps you kind of think a bit wider about what's in our catalogue and the different things you can be showing off. I know I'm guilty of doing the same stuff all the time. Follow up with at least one person a day. So that really gets you thinking about your follow-up and making it really intentional and making sure it happens. Relationship building, so on your social media, or we've put social media here, but you could adapt that so that you're having conversations with people or whatever. You can adapt that however you want, but it's about intentional relationship building with people. So we did sort of 5 people a day, just going and commenting and like being friendly, not about Scentsy, but just being really friendly with people. 10 minutes of personal development a day. And then we had social buddies. So this was about having 3 people a week where you provide posts to them that they can post on their media, on their stories, just to try and tag you so there's some interest coming back. So giving them some detailed posts they can post about different products. It could be something about the air purifier, it could be something about cleaning products, different things that they can post for you and tag you in those. So that's all on there with our course on there, but the course is quite helpful. They're quite short things, but it just gives you something tangible to go off and do, but it was all based around putting simple habits in place, and this is just a really good starting point, really, just to get you really thinking about simple things you can do, and then it just helps you get going, especially if you're in a bit of a lull right now and you don't really know what you should be doing, or it just gives you a starting point with simple things, simple easy things that you can be doing to really start building that consistency into your business too. So I hope that might be helpful to some of you. But it's called Grow Your Business and Beyond, and it's on my YouTube, so you can go and have a look on those. So I hope that's been helpful for everybody. Any questions, feel free to message me. But definitely you have to go and read this book and go and check him out, because it is absolutely amazing. And habits and consistency in your business are definitely one of the core things you absolutely need to really, really build your business on and survive any tough times or any quiet times or anything like we are in right now. It's this that's going to get you through. So thanks for having me, and I will hopefully see you soon. Bye.